My name is Amara. I built everything I have with bare hands. Sharp instincts and a heart that once wanted only love. I didn't set out for revenge. I never imagined I need to prove my worth to the very people who raised me. That sometimes, the people who are supposed to protect you are the ones who bury the knife deepest. It happened on what should have been the proudest day of my life. I had just won the national award for Entrepreneurship, one of the youngest women to do so. 10 years of sweat, sleepless nights, self-doubt and sacrifice. I created a wellness brand from scratch. One that gave jobs to over 500 women. Many of them single mothers or survivors of abuse. My name was finally being spoken in boardrooms, where women are often only remembered for their coffee orders. And yet, none of that mattered that night. The banquet hall was full. More than 60 people, business leaders, mentors, friends, investors, media. Cameras rolled, lights were warm. I had just finished giving my thank you speech when I turned to step off the stage. My father stood waiting. At first, I smiled. I thought he was proud. Thought he might even hug me. But he raised his hand and slapped me. The sound echoed. The room went silent. A second passed. Then another. His voice broke the silence. You think awards make up for the fact that you're a barren woman? You're a waste. All this success and no child to carry your name. My vision blurred. Not from tears. From the heat in my chest. My sister Ria laughed. She didn't even pretend to be shocked. That's what happens when you worship money. Not motherhood, she said, raising her champagne glass. And then my mother, dressed in her usual gold and crimson, stepped forward, eyes sharp and full of judgment. If you had listened, married Raj, had a baby by now, maybe we wouldn't be so embarrassed. They turned their backs and walked away. No one came to comfort me. No one intervened. 60 people, and silence was the loudest sound in that room. But I didn't cry. I didn't speak. I walked out, heels clicking against marble like a war drum. And that night I decided, they will never hurt me again. And they will never touch what I built. You see, they thought I was naive. That just because I didn't scream when they criticized me, I didn't remember. They thought I forgot the time they laughed at my infertility diagnosis, called me defective, or the day my father said no man would ever want damaged goods. They thought I didn't notice how they only came around when I was successful, never when I was struggling. But I kept everything. The house they live in, bought with my money, registered under a holding company I created. The car my father loves, leased under my name. The salon my sister flaunts on Instagram. My money, my paperwork, my brand network. Every loan, every doctor bill, every vacation they begged for and couldn't afford, paid. I had the receipts, literal and metaphorical. So I started phase 1, detach. I blocked them from my bank access, cut off the joint accounts, froze the trust fund I foolishly allowed them to manage in my early days. Phase 2, exposure. Each of them received a package, personalized. Inside, itemized lists, screenshots of transfers, legal ownership proofs, and a simple note. You said I was barren. But I was growing an empire, and now I'm reclaiming it. Then came the fury. My phone buzzed with calls, texts, voicemails soaked in insults, tears, and threats. How could you do this to your own family? They asked. Funny how they suddenly remembered the word family. They tried to sue me, but their own signatures, their own ignorance, their own entitlement worked against them. It was poetic. The house, vacated in 30 days. The car, repossessed. My sister's salon, shut down for tax evasion she didn't know I'd documented. And when they finally realized I wasn't bluffing, they tried the one tactic that always worked in our culture: shame. You'll die alone, my mother said, sobbing into the phone one night. You'll regret this when you're old and childless. But I didn't flinch, because I had something far more powerful than their approval. I had freedom. Today, I live in a quiet home by the sea. My foundation, the Barren Power, helps women like me. Successful. Child-free, abandoned or mocked for not choosing the traditional path. We fund therapy, legal aid, business grants. Every time someone says, "You'll never be complete without a child," I show them a woman who built herself from ash. What they tried to take from me, my peace, my pride, my power, became the very fuel I used to rise. And now I ask you, what would you do if your own blood turned against you? Not for something you did, but for who you are. Would you keep quiet? Or would you burn the legacy of shame they tried to pass down and build something new from the ashes? If this story hits something deep inside you, I ask only one thing: subscribe to my YouTube channel and like this video. Because I'm not just telling stories, I'm building a fire. And one last thing. Never underestimate a woman with nothing to lose and everything documented. Because one day, the same people who called you empty will watch you become unstoppable. And that's the real revenge.